Hey guys, this video is going to help you with the standard algorithm method of multiplication. I made another video earlier that shows you the area model and the partial product way to multiply, but I wanted to give standard algorithm its own video because it is different than those two. You end up with the same answer, but the way that we get there is like a little bit of a shortcut. And I'll show you guys how to do that. So let's get started. The very first place that we need to look in this little problem here, 132 times 34, we're always going to start with the number that is in the bottom number as far to the right as possible. So we're going to begin with this 4 that is in the ones place in 34. And we are going to multiply everything in the top factor by 4. Okay, so that's our very first step. Let's multiply everything in the top by this 4 that's in the ones place in the bottom. So there is a method to this. You can't just go crazy and multiply all of these different numbers together. Let's follow the process. So first, we're going to multiply this ones place by the ones place in the top. Okay, so we're going to do 4 times 2. And when we do 4 times 2, we know that that is 8. Okay, now we've done 4 times 2. Now let's move to 4 times the 3. And really, we know that that 3 is in the tens place, and so that 3 really represents 30. So in partial products, we would do 4 times 30 and write it out to the side, and that would be 120. But since we're going to use the standard algorithm, and it's a little bit of a shortcut method, we're going to think of it in our head as 4 times 3. Okay, so 4 times 3 would be 12, okay? And just like addition, we're going to regroup to the place to the left, and then our 2 would go into the tens place of our answer, or this partial product at the bottom, because really we are doing 4 times 30, and that would be 120. So that we have a 1 up in the top in the hundreds place. We have a 2 in the tens place. So that would really be 120 because we have a 100, or we have a 1 in the hundreds place at the top that we have regrouped. We have a 2 in the tens place, so that really those together would be 120. But since this is the shortcut method that we just talked about, we're not going to write that out as 120. We're just going to make sure that each number is in the correct place so that they have the correct value. And now after we've done 4 times 3, we can move to 4 times the 1, which is in the hundreds place on the very left of 132. So we're going to do 4 times 1, which is 4. And then whenever we have something regrouped up here in the top, we're going to multiply first. So we do 4 times 1, and then we add whatever the top part is, okay, whatever we have regrouped. So 4 times 1, we know that's 4. And then we're going to add this 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, and I'm going to take away the arrows so that we can continue. So we are finished with this row of partial products. Okay, so this is our very first partial product. That means that we have just done 4 times 132. That means we multiplied everything in the top number by 4. Okay, so now we must multiply everything by this 3, which is really 30 because it's in the tens place, right? And since that is in the tens place, we really do not want to get our place values mixed up, right? So if we're going to multiply everything by a 10, like a number that is in the tens place, we need to have a little placeholder 0 here to let us know that we are no longer multiplying with a ones place. We no longer need the little 1 up top, right? But we are no longer multiplying with the ones place. We are multiplying by the tens place in the number 34. So everything in the top row, right here in blue, this row is 4 times 132. That's what we get as a partial product, okay? So the next partial product, the next row, should be 30 times 132, right? Because we've already done 4 times 132. Now we must do 30 times every digit in the top factor. Okay, so again, this is the shortcut method, so we can use, in our head, we can say 3 times 2 and 3 times 3, 3 times 1, instead of 30 times 2, 30 times 30, and 30 times 100. We are still doing that, but we can think of it in our head, in our mind, as 3 times 2 and 3 times 3 and 3 times 1. Okay, it'll make life a little bit easier for us. So I'm now going to change the bottom row of partial products to a different color, blue. That way we can kind of tell it apart. Because in the red, that was us dealing with 4 times 132. I want to use blue to show us 30 times 132, okay? So we have our 0 there because we're multiplying by a tens place. Okay, that keeps our place values on track. That's why we're able to think of this as 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and then 3 times 1. Okay, so let's get started. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 3 times 3 is 9. And then 3 times 1, we know that's 3. Okay, and now we can add these together because that's what we do with partial products, right? And we have nothing else to multiply. We've done 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 1. And we've done 3 times 2, 3 times 3, and 3 times 1. We've multiplied everything we need to multiply. Now we can add the two partial products together to give us our final answer. So I'm going to go back to, well, I'll actually change it to black. How about that? Let's go ahead and add. That's the final step, and we have to be very careful. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 6 is also 8. 9 plus 5, we know that is 14. And then 1 plus 3 is 4. And since we have nothing else to multiply and nothing else to add, that's our final answer. I also want to make it clear you must be very, very careful. Take your time on all of these because it would be a shame to get all of the multiplication correct and then get down here to where we add and make a silly mistake of adding. Always be sure to take your time, give it your best, and check your work. Because if you go back and check your work, you are very likely to catch maybe a mistake that you made that may be very little, a very small mistake, but it will throw your answer way off, right? And we know that there's plenty of room to make mistakes in this because we're multiplying multiple different factors, and then we're adding too. So there's plenty of room for mistake. Be very careful, take your time, don't rush through, and remember to always give it your best. If you have any questions at all, please ask your teacher, and you can rewatch this video and the area model and partial product way to multiply. You have many ways to get help. Please always ask for it. Don't be too shy. Always ask for help. Okay? Good luck, guys.